probably 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The hottest and the coldest. It never got cold to be extreme. One time we were driving and there was, because there's little kangaroos and big kangaroos. So like really big, like 6 feet tall. And so when we were driving out in the bush, there's kangaroo signs. And so you have to watch for them or it's like hitting a deer. And so one time we were driving and we had to hurry and slam on our brakes because there was a kangaroo in the middle of the road that would have ruined our car or hurt us. So you think they're all cute and little, but kangaroos can be dangerous. I had kangaroo, which just tastes like deer. It was good. And also the islanders like to give you a lot of seafood. And so I had this thing called a kinna, which I probably won't eat again. But it's fun to try because you're on your mission. Nando's. Nando's was good. And they also made really good pumpkin, or squash. They'd call it squash, but it was kind of like pumpkin. And so pumpkin soup was good. And they eat a lot of lamb. Like we eat chicken here. They eat lamb. And so there's different ways to eat lamb was good. They'd roast it or put it in spaghetti, and so lamb was good. In Kalgoorlie, we were on bikes, and on the road there's like off roads that are like small, just like alleyways, and so we were just riding a bike, and I had my helmet on, and this car came out and just hit me so hard, and I went flying, and my bike went flying, and my bag went flying. So that was probably the scariest, is when I got hit by a car, but I was fine. And then we were able to teach him a lesson afterward. We just got followed a couple times in some of my areas, so just don't actually go home. Go to somewhere else, because there's some creepy guys and creepy places. But I never felt like in danger. I felt pretty safe where I was. I guess the most important life lesson that I learned is that everyone is struggling with something, and that I'm able to help or relate to something with everyone. There's always someone that, like, even if the person seems so happy, there's something that you can help them with. Or if someone seems so sad, there's something to make them happy. And so that's what I learned, is that I need to reach out to others and express to them how I'm feeling so that they can express back, and just that the gospel can help all of them. Probably the hardest was not getting my visa in time, because I was so mad. I was like, I'm supposed to go to Australia. That's where I got called. If I don't get my visa, then why am I going anywhere? But when I served for that short time in Washington, it was something that I needed, something that my companion needed, and something that the people that I taught needed. So even if it doesn't go the right way, or if you don't get the visa, or if you're sent to an area that you don't want to go, that is when you know that the Lord is guiding you and that the Lord needed you there, because you will be where you need to be. It was hard to go to Washington, but now that I look back, it was only for 4 weeks, and it made my mission. One of them is when I was on an exchange with a sister. So I wasn't with my usual companion, and we were tracting, and we just needed to find someone to teach. She was green, so she was new, and I was like, I gotta show her that Australia's the best and that tracting's good. And so I just said a little prayer in my heart, and then we knocked on the next door, and this girl just opened and said, yeah, I'm interested. I'm looking for happiness. And that was so spiritual for me and so overwhelming, because I knew that my prayer had been answered right then. And it was cool for her, because that got her excited for the rest of her mission. And it was a really big blessing for all three of us. For the girl that answered the door, and then she was later baptized and brought her family along with her. And so those were really spiritual experiences, when you're able to pray and fully focus and rely on the Spirit. Read the Book of Mormon. Yes, I've probably read it 6 times on my mission, so I wish I would have read it a little bit more before, because you don't want to Bible bash, but when people ask you questions about the Book of Mormon, or you want to relate a story to them or a scripture, I wish I would have been better at like just opening and knowing where to go. And that would be my advice, is read the Book of Mormon. Don't think that you need to adjust back to normal life. This is your normal life. That changed you, and don't go back to what you were before. Let your mission change you, and continue to be that spiritual person who reads the scriptures and prays and relies on the Spirit, and just continue to be a missionary. You don't need to stop. I had a hard time with is they always say, "How you going?" Like, "How you going, mate?" And you're like, "What do you mean, how am I going? I'm going straight." But they actually meant, "How are you doing?" So when they say, "How you going?" You're like, "Yeah," you just say, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're doing good." And so it was just hard to change into what they like to say and how they talk. But they really do say, "Good day. Good day, mate." And but the New Zealand accent is really fun too, because you get that a lot over there. And I'm having a hard time thinking of how they say it. But they say, "Ah, true," a lot. Like, "Ah, really?" And so me and my husband still say certain Australian things.